And it says we are live.
Ooh, we're live.
Very exciting, isn't it?
Oh man,
You've been waiting for this all week, haven't you?
all month actually, because I
All
feel like
month.
I haven't been on for like a month.
That is kind of true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of, how the heck are you? What's new? What is going on with you, 1776 or
Uh,
bust?
Not much. Just had a run with the Shield, as many of you know. Fantastic gun. Can't say enough about it. Going to follow up with the Shield versus the 48 because I think it's going to be a good comparison. I mean, they're both very very equal in a lot of areas, but also slightly different in certain other areas. And I definitely have opinion of which one I like better. They both shot well. I mean, it was a nice day to shoot them. Definitely, this is the best shield I've ever shot. Small shields I can't shoot, which is kind of interesting. This is opposite of you. The small shield I always have difficulty shooting. This bigger one, it just felt better for a lot of reasons. Obviously, weight, length, that sort of stuff. And then the 43X they shot as well. That's kind of an interesting gun. I mean, it's the first 43 version that I've ever owned, and it's pretty good, man. I think they did a good job with the longer grip. I think it helps control that gun considerably better than probably when it just had its short grip. But that's just my old opinion.
Okay. Well, so going along with that, we've got the 48, we've got the Shield 4-inch. Now we've got this 365 XL that's going to be coming out. So we are starting to see these smaller, you could say single stack or micro subcompact firearms, whatever you want to say. The lines are blurring all over the place, but still these smaller form factors with the longer slides. Do you think that will continue? Because these guys are not the first to do it.
Right. It's interesting you say that. I think a lot of people are starting to see the pattern, because everything in the industry is always with a pattern, it became red dots. Now we see the wave of red dots coming out and everybody jumping on board, MOS type guns and that stuff. And now all of a sudden you're seeing this wave of single stack. I mean, I don't know what you would call them. I guess single stack full size guns, which is kind of interesting. It's almost an oxymoron, but it's, I think that's the new in. I really do. I don't think necessarily there's the perfect one. I know that SIG P365XL looks interesting because it's going to have the mag capacity that all of you guys can have. But at the same time, it keeps that compact, or I guess thin profile.
Oh, did you freeze?
What's that?
You froze for a second there.
Did I freeze?
You froze.
Oh my God. I know we've been having some storms up here, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Could be.
But so in regards to what I was saying, just the new wave of these thin single stack, long slided handguns is, I think, the future. I do. I think a lot of people are seeing the benefit of having that slim profile because it's easier to carry all day long, a lot easier to conceal in most cases. So I think there's that comfortable factor, plus the idea that it's still extremely shootable, which is one of the reasons why I never wanted a P365, because it was so small. Now that you're coming out with the XL, that's an option because you're getting basically a full grip on a gun that is very thin and very concealable.
Right. Well, now they've got this 15-round magazine extension or option, so extend that grip all day long, which is kind of nice. Now, going along with that, still, do you think the benefits outweigh having the smaller version, like a 43 or a 43X or the Shield 2.0, the regular one, things like that? Do you think there is a distinct enough advantage for people to be dumping their current collection and going to this?
That's a hard question to answer because for a guy like me in a limited capacity state, I think absolutely there's a benefit to it. I think for those of you out there who are in free states, while the only option that has those large, capacity mags or normal capacity mags like the 365, that might be an option that you would consider, but I don't know if that would replace, a 19 round handgun or a 16 round handgun. But I think it's also based upon what people's preferences are. I don't like carrying really small guns. I don't feel comfortable with it. And it really isn't a fact that the guns are terrible or anything like that. It's just the fact that I always worry that if ever in a situation you got to pull your gun and you got this small, tiny grip, you're not going to necessarily be thinking of every single practical skill that you've learned. So a lot of it is going to be muscle memory, reflexes, that type of stuff. So I've always been in the mindset that the smaller gun to me, it just leaves too many open-ended questions. Are you going to be accurate enough to hit what you need to hit and not hit a bystander? I mean, God forbid. So I've always said to myself, I wouldn't carry one of these micro guns, or I've always said that about even subcompacts. And when they started coming out with these, at first I was like, well, why would you need it? But now that I've been carrying them and shooting them, I think there's a huge benefit to carrying these single stack, 10 to 15 round magazines, where they're just amazingly comfortable to carry all day. And they're still extremely easy to shoot. So I think that it is absolutely something that will be replacing a lot of people's guns that they normally would carry. But again, everybody's different. You know that.
Well, absolutely. No doubt about it, because you are losing a little bit of grip, right? And if you've got much larger hands, that could be an issue. Somebody like Big Johnson probably wouldn't want to go with that,
Right.
But it's an interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I will tell you, I was carrying the Glock 19 for a while. I carried the PX4 Storm for the last week. I was carrying a P10, and then I started, kind of just running out to the house. I grab a basic holster, throw the 48 or the 43X in. I don't have a holster for the Shield, so I can't take it with me. But just the difference in the way the gun felt and carried was, to me, a huge improvement. You don't necessarily have to worry about this bulge coming out of your, side of your pants. At the same time, you also want to have, like I said, a shootable gun. And I think these single stacks that are getting you this really just, that's the grip in the Shield, and it's a single stack. It's super thin. There's just really, to me, these are so much more advantageous right now, especially for concealed carriers.
Gotcha. Well, it's refreshing to hear that. I know you were a little bit more opposed to single stacks at one point in time, but
yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I'm never going to say that I'm right 100% of the time, because nobody is. And I think the thing that always got me with the single stacks is just the size of the grip, and even with, the Shield with the shorter mags, you can still get a fairly good grip on that handgun. But I think once I dove into like the P365 territory, I just was like, no, I can't. I just can't. I didn't feel comfortable handling the gun. Even with the extension, it just didn't feel right in my hand. So we'll see how the other one does,
Sure. No, I totally understand. Real quickly, I want to give a shout out to SWAT T. Appreciate you with the super chat. That's for Big J's Hair Fund. So we appreciate that, as does Big J's Hair. So much appreciated. Yeah, with that 365, I remember the first couple of times I shot it, I actually shot it reasonably well. And for me, reasonably well is probably not nearly as well as a lot of people, but I was pretty impressed with it. But then I spent some time, I don't know if it was the Shadow 2 or something like that, and then I came back to the 365, and it was awful. It was absolutely awful. And that was me. It wasn't the gun. The gun didn't change at all. I changed, right? But I started to rethink a little bit that tiny, small grip. And very light form factor. Somebody made a comment on the channel earlier, and it was about the Taurus G2C. Well, they were like, that gun is huge for a 9. That should be a 380 or something. Some sort of weird comment alluding to the fact that was way too big. It should be much smaller and a 9mm. And I'm thinking, man, you get so small to where it's almost unwieldy and unpleasant to shoot. That Diamondback DB9 I used as an example, and there will not be a video on it, but God, that thing was miserable to shoot because it was too small and too light. It was not fun at all. There was no enjoyment there at all.
Right. And if you think about that, if you're not really enjoying it, just shooting, at a static target, probably taking your time initially and then speeding up afterwards, imagine you having to pull that gun out in a real incident. That to me is where I always said, what is too small? That's always been the question, and I guess each individual is going to be different. What's too small for you is going to be different for you and for me. Too small for Big Johnson is any regular compact size gun.
Right.
So, I just never really got into any of those micros. I just didn't feel confident with them. Maybe as a backup, maybe, but not as an everyday carry.
Right. Well, yeah, and same thing with this little guy. This is the APX carry. I'm not flipping you off, I promise. But it is really small. It's the smallest gun I have in the house right now. And so I'm getting to that place where I don't know what to expect with this. I have not shot it, so I might be pleasantly surprised. But being this small of form factor and then being asked to deal with, in my opinion, it's, even though it's actually a pretty smooth double action trigger, it's still a double action trigger. And so you're fighting 6 pounds for a good inch of travel right there. And
Mhm.
in that amount of time, in a stressful situation, you never know what you're doing. You could be all over the
Sure.
place. And so I want to reserve too many thoughts on this, but I have my doubts about it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Um, so I
And
don't
and
know.
again, I think it's probably because, it's just a very small gun. Um, but again, it's not, like, for example, you have small hands, it might work for you really well. But who knows? Like I said, everybody's going to have their own opinions and their impressions on what they think, and you just got to go out and get it. And if you like it, great. If not, sell it, and move on to something else.
Yeah, no, that's well said. That's very, very well said. It's funny.
So
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, MD Polo was saying, and I know we've missed a lot of comments. So
Yeah.
if we've missed a question or something, please re-ask it. But MD Polo was saying that's why he sold his 365, and he actually went back to the G43, even though
Yeah.
MD, don't you have the I guess peanut butter 365 or whatever? But
Yeah.
anyway,
Right. Right. So, really quick, I just want to go back a little bit because you have some experience with this as well. But Joshua Johnson asked, "Do you really find there's a big advantage to the Shield over the M&P 9 compact or the 40 compact, not the 2.0?" So, what are your thoughts on that? Because obviously the 9 compact is different from the 2.0 compact, but what would you think?
okay. So say that question again. So
So
I
he's asking, do you really think there is a big advantage to the Shield over, let's say, the M&P 9C or the
okay.
40C?
Well, it's funny. It's the same argument as something like 43 versus 26. It's the same idea, right? Because all of a sudden you're getting into a double stack arena versus single stack arena. And so there's a significant difference, like we've been talking, in the overall grip circumference, how you grip it, and especially the size of your hand. That could be a big determining factor. But there are certainly advantages to that, as you said, with a full size grip. I mean, you're especially depending on how much time you spend at the range with it, it might be an advantage to go with something like a 9C. I mean, I've always been a big fan of the 9C. I think it's a fantastic gun, and I really wish they'd done a 2.0. Now, some people say that the 3.6 compact is the answer to that. I don't think it is, because the 9C, if you remember, I think it was 12 rounds. So it was a shorter grip still, and then you could extend it if you wanted to. So you had that carry advantage that you don't get with the compact, whether it's the 3.6 or 4. But it all comes back to, again, like you say, if you can carry it well and conceal it well and shoot it well, I, that's what matters, right?
Right.
So
And I also think, it's kind of apples and oranges. I think the big advantage, if you were going to compare the Shield to an M&P 9C, is just the thinness of the profile. And I think that's what it needs to be compared to, because it's hard to say which is the better gun overall. I think what it boils down to is what is going to be the most comfortable all day long. Like a guy like me, like I said, I only can have 10 rounds. I know I suck as a human, but I live in the state that makes it happen that way. But at the same time, when I look at the comparisons, is it worthwhile for me to carry a Glock 19 with 10 rounds or a Glock 48 with 10 rounds? And I mean, I would say, as much as I hate to say it, all day long, the 48 makes more sense because it's so much easier to lug around with you all day long. Once you put that gun on, it's like it's not even there because it weighs so little. And like I said, the profile is so small. As a matter of fact, I was telling KS before we got started, I actually was carrying the 43X this weekend, appendix style. And it wasn't because, I found the perfect way to do it. It's just the gun was so damn thin and the barrel so short, but I still have that full grip where I was able to conceal it well. So I think a lot of times when you look at the comparisons, it's hard to say what's going to be better. I can only say what works for me is I've noticed the advantage for me has been that thin profile with the less of the weight in the gun. So
yeah, yeah. Well, and I've said for a long time, those single stacks, for me, it's much easier to carry all day long and not thinking about it and not think about it, because there's less weight, there's less mass between you and your pants and your belt and all that sort of thing.
right.
Just to me, it's an easier ask, and you still can put. I mean, this 43X. Obviously, this is not something I would carry, but you can have 12 rounds in it right here, right?
That's a double fister right there.
It's right. So it is. It's what the two-handed sword, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, I mean, there's plenty of capacity to be had in a single stack firearm. You got to be a little bit more creative sometimes with it.
Yeah.
And there are some sacrifices because all of a sudden we're talking about a magazine that's the same length of a 22 rounder
Right.
in a double stack or whatever. So there it's a different mindset a little bit, but still certainly good. And real quickly, huge shout out to Jim Gregory. Jim, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate you, man. Been a big supporter of the channel. So
yeah, and then there, for me, even if I was I was actually, holding the 2.0 compact versus the Shield, and I mean, I don't have a problem even carrying that because I still don't even think that's such a big bulky gun. I think the real comparison is like, especially for a Glock, because it feels so blocky, whereas some of these other guns are even their profiles a little bit slimmer, a little bit more rounded off. The P10C is a good example like that, whereas the Glock is just very squared. So, you kind of have to think about it from that standpoint as well.
yeah, no, that's true. That's very, very true. So shall we hit some questions here? I see
Surely.
quite a few call outs. Mateo is saying the trigger on the APX is no different than the Nano, and I don't find it to be all that bad. And I understand that. Yeah, it really, at the end of the day, it's not a bad trigger. It could be a lot worse. You guys know I'm not a fan of cars, and I think this trigger is significantly better than any cars that I've experienced. This seems to be lighter. I mean, again, it's coming in just under 6 pounds with a very consistent, very smooth draw. So the trigger in and of itself really isn't bad. I think my biggest criticism in such a small form factor of fighting with that trigger, I'm not a big fan of, but then the reset is a mile out there, and that I can't stand. I don't mind a long, smooth, heavier trigger if the reset can be short and the follow-up can be short. This, to me, this does not scream fast. It doesn't scream quick. And for a defensive gun, I want the option to be able to run relatively quickly. And so I shot the thing, so I could be completely wrong about that. But just my initial impressions of it.
So really quick, that or your Taurus, which would you choose?
I go Taurus all day long.
Really?
Oh, without question.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's a good gun. It has been a flawless runner. That trigger's a little bit unusual. However, when you get past that, I mean, it's dead air. It's dead air to the wall. So it's not like you're fighting anything at all. You just got to, it goes a ways. But once you get to that break, it's a really nice, clean break, and the reset is short. So it is 90% of what I want in a trigger. And for a $240 gun or whatever it was, that's fine. And the ergonomics otherwise are fantastic. Now the TH9C I was not impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
That one didn't work for me quite as well. It was okay, but it wasn't great. But the G2C I thought was a fine firearm, really.
Right. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to have that experience. And for all those out there who are asking me, where's my Beretta? It's still in jail. It's a long period of time before I have to get it. Unfortunately, I have to wait. But as soon as I get it, I'll make a video of it. I can't wait. It's like, I don't even know how to describe my first reaction when I had that gun in my hand. It was probably a very inappropriate comment that I made at that point.
Yes, it was. I remember.
Yeah, yes, and Big Johnson were privy to that comment.
Yep.
But it was just, I don't even know what to say, man. You have that Beretta, right? The what is the LTT? Let's see it.
Maybe a couple of.
Oh no, here we go. We got what? So you got the LTT, and what's the other one?
The other one's the Wilson Combat.
Oh, you bastard. So the M9A3, that was the gun I've wanted for a couple of years, and I finally pulled the trigger. I mean, I had to sell a couple of things to get it because it was way, way, way out of my comfort level. As a matter of fact, when you know how people tell you when you're struggling with things, you should lean on your friends a little bit. So I leaned on my friend, and he told me to buy it. Stop being a pussy. So just buy it. So yeah, I wound up buying it, and it's fine. I'm happy I did, because man, that gun is something else. There's nothing more I could say about it yet, but it is that speechless. That's all I can say. Speechless.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts on it and how it shoots and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah. We'll have to compare notes, because eventually an M9A3 will be here. A buddy of mine has one, so I'm not buying it or anything like that, but I'll be able to compare all three, which I'm excited to do. Yeah. I like those M9A3s are sweet.
So they're asking what color. It's FDE. That was the one we could get. I was looking for a green one. I wanted a green one. but we could only get the FDE to my local guy with 10 round mags. So I said, fuck it, go for it. I'm an FDE guy anyway.
I like that one the most. That is my favorite. Now there's a gray one that's pretty cool, but
Yeah.
I like the FDE one. I think that's it's classy, it's good looking. I like FDE. You do as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's the right one.
And Joker's asking how somebody asked me how much I paid for it. A lot. That's all I want to say. I mean, it wasn't like Shield. It wasn't like Shadow 2 territory, but it was getting there. But it was under 1,000 in the 800 plus range. So I felt like I got a good deal.
It's not too bad. When they first came out, they were over 1,000. So
yeah. So if you guys are looking for handguns, Wallkill River Small Arms, call Frank Reese, great guy, always works out good deals, and I love his store because he's always willing to work with you. It's a little plug for my friend.
Nice. Now I want to hit a question real quick, David Franklin, because I think he's asked this a couple of times, and even on Instagram. If you're or Facebook, I can't remember. If you're dead set on a red dot RMR carry gun, is the P10S one of the better options? I wear size small gloves or a 43X. That flush 15 round shield arms mag is pretty sweet. I'm not sure when those are coming out, by the way, unless maybe they're already out. I have no idea. So again, if you're dead set on a red dot, is the P10 a good choice, especially if you have smaller hands, or should you go with something like a single stack, maybe a 43X or something? What do you think?
I mean, I think that's a tough choice too. Honestly, and this might sound petty, but even with the optics ready versions of the P10, I don't like the way they look. Just based the plate is a little bit shorter than the actual the cut, right? So I don't like the way that looks. I think it looks unfinished. I like having things that look finished, complete. Honestly, if I was you and I was looking for something, I'd actually just go with a regular P10C. You can find those for 300 plus and change on Gunbroker. Sometimes you can get them 400, sometimes even lower. But I would do that and then just have somebody mill it for you with a sight that you want, or at least you want it, because once you get it milled, you're kind of stuck. But I don't know. I don't know which one I would get. I mean, I'd be interested to put like a red dot on one of these, but I don't really know. Like, I'm not into the red dots like you guys are. I'm just not. I still have good enough eyes where I can see the irons well enough. And I just prefer to stick with that until I can't do it anymore. And not to mention my hands aren't the most reliable anyway. So, I've got to worry about that stupid red dot shaking. Whereas the irons give me a little bit more leeway for mistakes,
Sure. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah. As far as the P10S and 43X and that sort of thing, I mean, I think it's, you got to, if you can get to a rental range, see what you can put in your hand, even if it's not a P10S, something comparable to that. There are certainly guns that are very similar in that subcompact range. Compare that to a 43X or 43 or Shield or some of those guns and see which one sits better in the hand, has that better trigger reach for you, and you can shoot better. I mean, if you can rent it and shoot it, that sort of thing. I mean, I think that's the most telling for you. I don't have small hands, so I don't really know very well how to relate to that. So I mean, that would be my suggestion. Both firearms are good firearms. Now, I think both would be reliable. You would enjoy both. Just pick the one that fits you better.
Just get a Steyr, call it a day.
Right. Or, either one.
Or CCP.
Right. Yeah, no, don't do that. That's not even nice. That's not nice.
I saw those going. What did I remember? I sent that to you. What was it, like $300 for a brand new CCP M2 or something like that?
Right.
That was crazy low.
Yeah, they'd have to lower it to 100 for me to consider it. I still wouldn't consider it.
No, me neither. Let's see. Apparently, we have people who don't like FDE. No problem.
Somebody said something about burnt bronze. Who was it? Did Rhoda? I think Rhoda was saying something about that. Brad, a 9mm in the house. Good to see you.
Yeah, it looks a lot like a bronzy color. It's not as poopy brown as the 19X. It's a little bit more bronzy. I would agree with that. Parts of it on the frame are, and it's not a bad looking color. When you see it in person, it actually looks much, much better than what you would see it in a picture. Because they play with the saturation levels on everything anyway. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Let's see.
12 says DD. I'm assuming that's Daniel Defense or BCM for first rifle and why. So what do you think of that?
Totally out of my way of thinking. I don't have any. Well, I can't say I don't have any. I have rifles, but I don't have anything cool, man. I don't, and I'm not going to lie to you and say I do. Um, I mean, I'll tell you what I do like. I'd like to get one of these damn stupid ass carbines that you keep shooting, like either the SIG or the CZ variant. I like the SIG better. It looks a little nicer than
Yeah,
that
that's
damn
nice.
CZ, but unfortunately, it's just not possible here. And I refuse to buy anything that you have to modify to pay much more money to do it. It's so stupid to do it here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I understand that. I will say though, they are a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. I wish I could continue to do that and bring on a bunch more. I really want to try a Banshee. The X-Tar is another one. I might borrow Honest if you'll let me.
Mhm.
But just kind of play around with some different ones. But that SIG is incredible. However, I have to give props to the Palmetto State Armory, that AR-9 for $569. That thing is awesome. It's inexpensive. It's fun to shoot. I mean, it's a total planker, but and you can beat it up and not feel bad about it. It's a great gun, and I've had the can on it for a while. That is a fantastic suppressor host. So
And this part of the chat is sponsored by Palmetto State Armory.
yeah, right, yeah.
I did like the AK variant that Coda Boy was shooting. Like that would be one that I want to get. As a matter
Yes,
of fact, I texted him and he's like, "Man, you would love this thing." I'm like, "Damn you," because I can't own one, and I mean, I can, but you just have to modify the crap out of it. So
yeah.
it makes it price it out of its own market. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that the AK and then the AK5, the clone that they have coming out, I think will be very cool as well. So,
Mhm.
although I think I'd actually like the AK better as well. I that that thing,
It looked like a nicer package. You know what I mean? It looked a little bit
well,
more, you know. Well,
well,
listen,
I mean,
I don't know. I'm talking about the gun, Chaos,
oh, sorry.
not your package, sir.
Okay, all right.
But no, it just looked a lot more It looked like it was well made. I guess that's what I want to say. All right.
Yeah.
So it has a nice package.
Right. It does indeed. Yeah, no,
There's
that it did look pretty
a
cool.
lot of phallic things going on right now.
I don't
What's
know
going
what's
on?
happening. Is this a gun channel? Yeah, going back to that question, Daniel Defense or BCM. I like BCM. I don't have hardly any experience. I've shot a BCM one time. I've got a buddy at Centerfire that does have one. I've never shot a Daniel Defense, but the BCM was nice. I think they put together pretty good stuff. So that, I mean, I think that would probably be my choice. But if you handed me either one, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference unless I looked at the labels. So, you know,
Mhm.
take that for what it's worth, I suppose.
Right.
So Lyle, good to see you, Lyle. Why is double action, single action having a revival? What do you think of that?
I think people are getting sick of plastic. I do. I mean, that's what happened with me. I'm so tired of polymer guns, but then I go and, shoot a bunch of them. But I just wanted something different. I don't necessarily buy into the idea that it's a more difficult platform to shoot with once you get down where that double action is coming from. You can stage the trigger. You just have to work on it. And the single actions you can't beat. Half the time, the single actions are anywhere from 3.5 to 4 pounds. They're easy to carry. You don't have to worry about shooting your balls off or your butt. And I just think people are getting away from that school of thought. Everything has to be polymer now. And I think there really is not only just a revival of double single, but the revival of metal guns. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I think people are just starting to discover, kind of like you said, some different options, some different things out there that are not the same as every polymer wonder out there.
Right.
After a while, you start to get a little bit numb. I mean, I was telling somebody at Centerfire after I picked up this APX, I was kind of like, God, I don't really want to do this. I mean, which is bad for a reviewer. You should never have that attitude, right? But it's not as exciting as it once was. I was far more excited about picking up the Berettas or something like that, like the SIG P10 or 210, whenever that comes around. I'm excited for that stuff because it's so different and it's fun and the shooting characteristics are unique and that sort of thing. And I'm digging that a lot. So something like this, even though I have to admit, this is actually a really good looking gun. I think it's attractive. It really is. The sight's it's the right width and everything. It's unloaded, by the way. It just, I think it's a good looking gun. But I pick it up and I'm like, hey, another polymer gun, yay!
Yeah.
Um,
I think on your next video, you should put lipstick on it and kiss it.
I may do that just to see what happens with the comments. You never know.
I mean, you should have picked up the Centurion. I think you would have been very happy with that gun.
Well, it was a heck of a deal. I mean, it was used, and I mean, it was just over $300. It was, I would
have done it because it's the best one. It's the best APX they have. It's
well, I would say that is true. I would agree with that. But I just felt like I've been there, done that, and again, it's that same mindset. It's not as exciting as it once was. If it had been 6 months or a year ago, I probably wouldn't have hesitated. But it was kind of like, what would I do with it? I mean, it would just be another polymer gun, and I've got enough polymer mid-size firearms around where it's like, and frankly, I don't know how many people want to see that many more APX videos. So,
right. And that was the whole mindset, the way I was thinking about the M9 as well, because and you guys love the Shadow 2, and it's almost beyond nauseating to hear all of you. I love the Shadow 2, and I'm saying buy a Shadow 2, but then I was looking at him like, God, I just, what? I don't like it enough to buy it. And the price tag, and the price has gone down. So they're no longer like $1,100. You can find them for like $900. But I was just like, God, I just, for me, that just doesn't make any sense. I wanted something that, had an aluminum frame as opposed to a steel frame. And then I just said, let me see if I can get one of those now that don't have, the high cap mags and the threaded barrel and all this other crap. So I wound up getting one. And it was, I think that was one of the reasons why I wanted something different. I wanted something that, to me, I would never do in any normal day of my life, spend that kind of money. And more importantly, have a gun like that. But I looked at the gun. I'd been talking to you about this for over a year, saying, God, I really want that gun. Yeah. And I'm not even a Beretta fan, but there was just something about that gun that said, it just was this classic, but just modern beauty. I mean, at the same time, that's the best way I can describe it. And then it did not disappoint in person at all. It is just such a finely tuned machine. And I can't wait to open it up, man, because it's gonna be fun. At least I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. I really do. They feel good in the hand. I mean, they're kind of a chunky gun. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but I think they feel good. And this is a Vertec grip. This actually what you did.
Yeah.
And I like it. And it kind of reminds me of a thicker 1911 a little bit. So like a double stack 19, like a 2011, only different.
Yeah. And I mean, even with that, I mean, compared to like a regular 92, those are a lot chunkier than even that. I just felt like it was, the way it felt was just like, wow. I mean, it didn't feel perfect. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, oh my God, it felt like the best gun I've ever held, because it didn't really feel that way. But there was just a certain level of just class to this gun, man. And it's just, to me, it's like everything you'd want in a handgun. It's big, it's just fucking beautiful. That's the only thing I can say about it. Never really had that feeling for a handgun before until I actually put that in my hand. I was like, this gun is amazing. I mean, it's just amazing. Now, again, if it shoots like crap, or, if I can't shoot it, then I'll be disappointed. But it to me shocked me how good that gun was, just holding it and playing around with it for a little while.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Any experience I've had with a 92 over the years has always been good. Now I've not spent any time doing more rapid fire type stuff. It was more just, shooting and relaxing and just accuracy. They are dead accurate guns. I mean, they are very accurate and they're very pleasant to shoot. And so I think you're gonna enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah, I know my language is horrible. Potty language.
Well, Range Randy is reminding us, however, that the Shadow 2, for what you get, is a bargain, best bang for your buck, and I have to agree.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's for me, I always have in the back of my mind, I want to carry this gun, so I want to carry that M9 for a day or so, and just experience that. With the Shadow, I wouldn't do that. So for me, that's kind of where my mindset is a little bit. I don't really have any guns in my safe that I won't carry. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, this will not be a gun that I carry a lot, maybe once or twice and then throw it in the safe, because it's just a beautiful gun and I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. I totally understand. So Dennis Jones is talking about was talking with non-tactical shooter about the Langdon tactical trigger job or with it. I will tell you, go with the trigger job. The Langdon has the trigger job, and it is fantastic. So it's not much more expensive to go with the trigger job for the Langdon tactile. It's actually pretty reasonable, sort of reasonable depending on your budget. But if you can, it's worth getting the trigger job.
I'll be right back.
All right, just my thoughts on that. I'm sort of on the fence as far as Wilson Combat goes, but for Langdon Tactical, I think it's worth it. So they are fun firearms for sure. Now Banshee is saying, ever shot a Mark 23? I have not. I'm assuming that's an HK. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Isn't that big, huge HK, right? I have not ever. I've handled one once. Again, if I'm thinking of the same thing you're mentioning, but I've never shot one. So be fun at some point in time. All right. So if we've missed some questions, and I'm sure we have, please ask them again if you don't mind. We'll definitely spend the second half of the chat answering as many questions as possible because we've kind of been yammering on. 17 and I haven't really talked much over the past couple of weeks because we've both been very busy. So Brett and 9, we've got a versus video come out on June 7th or June 14th. Wilson Combat 92G Vertec Brig Tactical versus Beretta M9A3. I will be excited to watch that video. Now, this is not I don't know, it's the Brigadier or whatever it is. This is Centurion, but it's got the Vertec grip. And I like it. I wasn't quite sure how I would feel about this because it doesn't have the extra hump. It's not as meaty in the grip. They actually redo this, recontour it. But I like it actually quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that fares at the range.
I'm back.
Sweet.
Drank a little too much water today, everybody.
Oh, it happens. So Dennis Jones is saying, kind of waiting on the 92X so I can decide on it or an LTT. I'm excited to see that 92X as well. I'm not sure what to expect with it. It's direct from Beretta, and it's geared towards competition shooting, so I really don't know.
I wonder how that's going to compete with other guns. Like, I mean, is it going to be better than a Shadow 2? I think that's going to be where the question lies, and I'm assuming it's going to be more expensive too.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I'd like to get my hands on one just to try one, but that would be way too many Beretta 92s. That would be overloaded overkill.
I was looking at a 92 Inox and the compact version of it, but yeah. I got my hands on a black version of it and held it, and it's a little too chunky. A little bit of a chunky monkey.
Well, and it's odd. They had a used, it was the compact. It's not an Inox. It was a compact, and it was an old Wilson Combat. They don't do those anymore. And it looked a little bit worse for wear, to be honest with you. But it was an interesting feeling in the hand because that grip was definitely shorter. So to me, it felt like it wasn't balanced quite as well with that shorter grip, but still fairly long slide, fairly heavy slide.
Definitely.
So, kind of interesting. Dex, we did talk about the shield a little bit earlier, but if you have a question about it, hit us up and we'll circle back around.
Yeah. And then, I'm picking up another PCR.
Wow.
I got problems, man. Like I said, I just wanted to go back to shooting metal guns for a while, carrying metal guns for a while. And I mean, what collection would ever be complete if you don't have a PCR? I mean, you got to have one. All right. So now I'm gonna get that, and then the last P01 I'm gonna buy, and this will be the only other CZ I buy, is gonna be the if I can find it, the OD green model of the P01, and then that's it. And then the collection will be complete at that point.
Yeah.
Because I don't care. I love the P01s. That's a gun that if you guys do not have, if you're looking for a good compact size metal gun, P01 all day long.
Sorry, I just sent a text a second ago here. Honest Outlaw is saying it will still be a 92, so no, it will not be better than a Shadow 2. So putting the hammer down on that.
Watch till you review it, and then you're like, God damn, this is better than the Shadow 2.
180-second ideas apparently somewhere. Oh, yep, there he is. Saying woo as always.
So if any of you guys have any high-end 92 series guns you want to send me, Now that I have 3 10-round mags coming in, I can actually shoot them. So feel free to send me those. You'll get them back, I promise.
Nice, nice. We're gonna have a special guest hop on here in just a moment.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. B Watt 75. I have to try out CZ. I've never fired one. What are your thoughts on that? 1776 or bust?
I find that to be awesome that you've never shot one, because that means you have not jumped the bandwagon. But I would say if you've never shot a CZ, it's hard to say. I mean, to me, you got to go with like some of the originals. You got to go with either a steel frame or the alloyed frames. My first gun I ever bought was a CZP-01, and it'll be the one that I will always keep because I just love the gun. I think ergonomically it's perfect. It shoots really well. You can do some basic things to it to improve it. You can do all sorts of things, and it's such a great gun. So I would highly recommend the P-01.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic. I absolutely love them. A bucket list is to go back and get a regular PO1 again and have it Cajunized to one degree or another. That's pretty low on the list, but at some point I'd like to do that.
I don't really think I want to do something like that because I want to carry it, and I don't want anything too light or, just crazy stupid in regards to trigger pulls. I think if you put a hammer spring in there, maybe a striker spring, extended striker pin, I think you'll be good as gold. Right now the P-01's pulling at 8 pounds double action, 4 pounds single action. To me, that's the perfect combination for a carry gun in that form.
Yeah. Yeah. For that, it would be more a safe thing than anything else. But I would dig it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Now, RTT Guns and Gear, thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Good conversation. All of us content creators need help. We need all the help we can get. Amen to that, my friend.
That is very true.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just out of curiosity, do you know anybody right now who was, demonetized and took all their links off and now has been remonetized? Do you know anybody who's done that?
No, not yet.
I'd be curious to see if that's what it was,
it hasn't been a month yet. Apparently it's a month before that can happen. So I think we've got a couple more weeks.
Okay. Well, just keep pushing content, people. That's the best you can do right now. Just keep pushing.
Oh, let's see here. We'll kill another moment or two before we have a special guest hop on.
I wonder who that might be.
It's me. It's my split personality.
Yeah. Sheck, I don't wear a man bun wig when I shoot my CZ.
It's not a wig. It's actually the real hair now.
I do, although I do wear skinny jeans. I do wear skinny jeans and, and like Hollister t-shirts.
Oh my gosh. So it's not yoga pants? I would have thought it would have been yoga.
Nah, I can't do it. Nah, there's too much showing.
Get everybody all jealous.
Yeah. Not much. Don't trust me. Let's see. Why does the Walther PPS M2 get passed up? Great question, Dwayne Christensen. I had one, I've had two, and I've gotten rid of both. To be honest with you, for me, the biggest decision has always been it just feels a little too top heavy when you're shooting it. Now, carrying it's fine, no problem. Super slim, great, but the top always feels a little bit too top heavy. But I will tell you, and I'll say it again, Shield 2.0, long slide, fantastic gun.
This chat is sponsored by Smith & Wesson.
Yes, and yoga pants.
And yoga pants, yes, and man buns.
There was one time, so Mateo's saying I wanted a ponytail. There was one time when I was in college, actually, I had really long hair. Yeah, that was back in the day, man.
Now, did you have a mullet? You had a mullet, didn't you?
No, I probably had a mullet like when I was in high school. I think I had at least one mullet. But I had long hair. I used to have long hair, man.
Man, nice.
It was back in the grunge days, man.
Yeah, I had the plaid shirt wrapped around my waist, but I did not do the long hair.
So. Oh no, you had to have the long hair, No, the long hair, the boots, you name it.
Oh my gosh, no, I did the tattoos and the earring. That was kind of my thing. So that was the rock band thing in the early '90s.
So let's see, Kathleen, I'm still hanging on to PPQ. Yes, absolutely. I love that gun. Yeah, me and yoga pants carrying M9A3. That would be uncomfortable.
Yes, it would. Dexter, yes, still have the P320X compact and love it. It's a fantastic gun.
You know what I saw yesterday, which I don't know if any of you guys are interested on, but on Gun Brokers, somebody was selling a CZ40P, which is
Sorry.
Oh, look who it is.
Yep. Hang on. Let me shoot him the invite here. Bear with me.
Yep. So yeah, so the CZP, what did I say, 40p or some crap like that? It's the 40 caliber version, which it looks like a hybrid between the PCR and the P01. It has kind of the PCR front, but the dust cover has a rail on it. And the decocker is the same, but supposedly it's super rare. And I think they were asking like 350 for it. And they only had like 3 people who had bidded on it. So if you guys are interested, man, check that out. But it looked good. It looked pretty sweet. I'm just not into 40s.
Yeah. Okay, invite is way. Sorry to take care of that. David Franklin, Glock 19 MOS or CZP-10C optic ready. What does 1776 say?
Well, what do you say first? It's your question.
I'm sort of indifferent. I'm indifferent on the two, to be honest with you.
I don't have any. I don't have any experience with the C10 or whatever P10C optic ready version. The MOS is a great gun. I liked it quite a bit. But I don't know, man. I would go with the CZP-10S optic ready version. Aha.
And look who's joining us. Honest Outlaw, how the heck are you?
Weird.
How's the tactical beard?
It's doing well. I've got all kinds of stuff over there.
He's got ammunition hidden in that thing.
I do. I haven't trimmed it yet. Like 2 weeks, so it's getting crazy.
I'd say let it go, man. Just go with it.
Yeah, it gets too much food in it.
Flavors.
You got leftovers for later.
Yeah, right. So how are you guys doing?
Fantastic,
man.
You know.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've talked. What is going on in your crazy universe, man? You're spitting out videos right and left. Nobody can keep up with you.
I'm trying. I try to do 3 a week, but I have another job also, and it's been crazy. So this time of year is crazy for the tree service, and had some equipment malfunctions. So I've been home like 3 hours a night.
Wow.
So try. That's why a lot of the shooting's in the dark. Looks cool though.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah.
Makes everybody jealous.
I don't see how you can keep up that pace. 3 videos a week. That's inspiring for sure.
Well, thank you. I don't know. I try to, and it keeps up the subscriber moving, subscriber count moving, and keeps up the views and everything. So that's what people are happy with. Now I think I want to try to add 1 patron video a week too, which is completely insane, but I don't know.
It's funny you said that. I noticed that when I don't do videos, I actually get more subscribers. Isn't that weird?
Oh, really? That is weird. Yeah. Due to like YouTube traffic, you need to have at least 1 a week, and it kind of bumps your channel up on the recommended scale. But
that's
that's why I try and do 1 video or more a week and 1 live chat a week or more.
Yep.
That seems to be a good pace for me. Any more than that, and it's burnout. I can't keep up with that. I mean, 1 video that I'll do takes whatever 6 to 8 hours to put together, and that's enough time along with answering comments and doing everything else.
Yeah, like my videos, what I do though is I'll do 1 review a week usually, but I'll do like a first shots, or I'll do a versus video or something I can walk out on the range and just shoot live. And those are way easier to edit, and they're way easier to shoot because there's no like talking points or details or anything. I just go out there and act like an idiot and shoot, and everybody seems to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, so, when I was watching your P10 video today, and I'm saying to myself, this guy's format, he's got it right, because he, I've been even with the shield video I made, it's like I didn't want to make 2 videos, but I knew if I didn't make 2, the 1 video would be too long. And then I'm saying to myself, why even waste my time talking? Just shoot the damn gun, give like a basic thing, and then move on. And I'm noticing that like your patterns are very good that way. There's just a good symmetry to the way you're doing your stuff. So
well, thank you. Yeah, some people like the first shots videos more. Some people like the full reviews more. Some people like the live format. Some people like the tabletop format. So try to please as many people as you can.
Yeah, that's definitely smart. I'm pretty happy with I like the tabletop format because to me it kind of puts people in that first person perspective. So it's almost like you as you're watching it, you're the one handling the firearm. And somebody made a comment on another video, they were saying, don't put things quite so close to the camera. People don't like that. I've had the opposite feedback. People like that because they can see all the detail. They can see some of the nuances and that sort of thing. I've seen some videos where the camera's 3 or 4 feet away from the firearm, and it's hard to see anything, especially if it's some sort of how-to video or something like that, and they're describing things. Man, you can't see anything, and I have a hard time watching that. I want to be up close and personal with it,
Right.
Oh yeah, the closer the better. That's why when we do a lot of our like B-roll filler, we'll do it so close. That way people can see it, and that way it's kind of like a landscape shot from one end of the pistol to the other, or rifle or whatever. And people seem to really like that. I kind of put a whole bunch of stuff that I like from YouTube videos that I watch into my videos, and it's just kind of a weird mix of, shit that I like. So I try to make my videos what I would want to watch.
Yeah.
Certainly works.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
So you guys make great videos too. You guys both use the tabletop format. I like that because it's easier to remember all the details, and I kind of have like a detail sheet in front of me so I don't forget any of the talking points. Because when I do the live stuff, then you'll have, all of a sudden you'll have 20 comments about something you obviously knew but totally forgot to add. I hate that. And then you can't go back because there's no way to go back on YouTube videos anymore like there used to be a few years ago where you used to be able to annotate stuff. But yeah.
Yep. So when are you getting the Shield 2.0 long slide?
Me? I don't know. I kind of hated the 48. I mean, I gave it kind of a positive review because I could see why people would like it. But for some reason, I felt like I'm kind of morphing more towards the 19X style of gun, which I can't believe because I hated it originally. But are you gonna get it?
I got the Shield, man. I got the 4-inch.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's really nice. I like it. I shot it side by side with the 48, and they're both shot really well. I mean, obviously for me, they shot well. For you, I can imagine, but I mean, the Shield just felt better. A little less recoil, but I don't want to talk too much because I do want to do a follow up on that. But I like the 43X. I got a 43X also, and again, it's like the baby 19X, and the 19X is fantastic. So it's like, God, all these damn good guns, and they're all single stacks. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. The Shield for me is the best out of the box carry gun. Like the 2.0 with the good texture and how they've improved the trigger and everything. If you shoot a stock 43X versus a stock Shield, the Shield is just better. I mean, in my opinion, I just shoot it better. I shoot it faster, and I like I carry a 43X, but I carry it with grip tape on it, and I carry it with a better trigger and better sights,
Right.
But if you don't do that, I could see why people would hate it.
Yeah.
I could never really get truly comfortable with the regular 43. It just never felt all that great in the hand. I never felt like I could shoot it very well. The Shield I always did. I walked in and felt pretty comfortable with it, but the 43 I just couldn't. 43X is a different story. I'm getting to like it more and more and starting to carry not the custom one, but the regular one a little bit more often. And I actually am kind of appreciating that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 43X and the 48 are just easier to shoot because the grip circumference is a little bit wider and it's a little bit longer and it's easier to leverage the gun. And it just feels like a real gun as opposed to like the noisy cricket. Like the 43 always felt to me like it was too shallow, too short, and the slide was just too tall for the dimensions of the gun.
Yeah. I mean, just comparing the two really quick, the 48 and the Shield, the Shield to me just feels like a more a well-built gun compared to, and the 48 is great, man. It's a nice build, but the Shield just feels more complete, weight wise, just fit and finish wise. It just, there's a better fit to it than there was on that 48.
I'm getting a tornado warning here. Hold on a second.
In your basement.
I know that siren very well.
I live in Iowa. We get them all the time.
Yeah, it's, whatever.
I'm not even gonna look.
Yeah. Well, when you hear the freight train, you know when to run. There you go.
Yeah, when the windows break, I'll run. That's about it.
Yeah. We got hit last night. In fact, we had some tornadoes to the north and west of me last night. But of course, the sirens started going off, and I walked outside, and it was a little cloudy, but it was fine. Otherwise, I'm like, back to work. So
yeah, we get those like once in a blue moon here, man. We got a tornado warning. I think like today, but we've been getting hammered with rain, man. I feel like I'm living in Seattle right now. We've had nonstop rain over the break, over the last weekend. we had about 2 good days, and then after that, just rain, and more rain. It's almost every day now, so it sucks.
Yeah, that's the whole country, I think, because that's what we've been going through too. Is just, I mean, it rained almost every day last week, and the week before, and the week before it.
Crazy stuff. It's global warming.
Yeah.
So there was an interesting comment there from Jason Meehan. Hopefully I'm saying that right, Jason. He said the SIG 365 and it's the XL will outsell those, and he's talking about the 48 and the Shield 4-inch. What do you guys think?
Maybe. I mean, the 365 sold a bunch last year, and that's kind of a weird, category of guns, that small single stack, because Glock's kind of king as far as sales go in the larger versions, but the Shields always beat Glock in the smaller versions, at least if I remember right. And the 365 offers, something that they don't, unless you get a little bit bigger, I guess. I mean, what is the capacity of the XL? Is it 12?
Yeah, 12 native. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's the 4-inch Shield? 8 or 9?
It's 8 rounds on the extended mag.
Yeah, then people love those extra rounds. I mean, you're never going to need them statistically,
Right.
but people love that. So
Right.
hard to say. People like SIGs too. I hate SIGs, but I always try to review them as non-biased as possible. It's just hard.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's funny. They have a very passionate following. So they pay very close attention when people put out videos on 6 Hour.
Oh yeah, they're like AK guys. They just can't. They can't take it. They can't take the criticism.
I'm not a fan of SIG either. I'd be interested to see what this 365 is going to be like. But even with the Shield, again, throw some mag guts in. Now you have 10 rounds in that extended magazine. So at least you have 10, which again, like you said, statistically, are you going to need all 10? Yes, I know. Well, what if there's 15 people attacking you? Well, then you're fucked. Move on, and run, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just, I think 10 rounds is a good amount of rounds, and I am absolutely biased because I live in a 10-round state, but I don't know, man. I just have fallen for this Shield for a lot of different reasons, but it's hard because the 48 is also very good. Both very good guns.
Do you have the 43X also?
Yeah.
You shot them side by side.
I shot all 3 of them. I mean, the 43X is a cool gun. I mean, it's obviously a little snappier than the other two. But they hit it right on the head with that longer grip because it makes it so much easier to control. And the thing, you can just crush it in your hands when you're shooting it. So you can control that gun so well. They did some good things with that 43X. So now I'm on the fence which one I like more, the 48 or the 43X. And it's tough. I don't know. I really don't know because I've never had that love for the 48. But I do like that 43X quite a bit. And I've got a purple trigger that's going to go in there.
You got any news on the new Steyr? When's that coming out? I heard fall, but I haven't heard anything since.
Not till after summer's over now. They're saying they can't get them any shipped. And then, I saw Dan's video, and I have to say I was pissed, man. I was like, God damn it, he got it first. So I was a little butthurt. I was crying a little bit, and but then I got a hold of somebody at Steyr, so apparently it's on its way, supposedly to me as well, which will be really nice of them because I can't wait to shoot that gun. So
that would
I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I want to try that gun myself. I really like Steyr.
Yeah, it looks so good. I mean, just some of the things they did on it, and just the ergos and the stippling and the adjustable backstrap and the side panels. I mean, so many awesome upgrades that I think are just going to light that game up. And now modularity, which is what they had initially, but they never built the guns around it. So they were the first. They were the originators of that whole system, not SIG. And now that they're going to have it, you might have to just buy one gun, and now you can buy those kits, which would be kind of sweet, So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, that would be cool. Real quickly, a shout out to Alaskan Ballistics. Thanks for the super chat, brother. He said, at least you get a warning with the tornado. We don't get anything with an earthquake. And that is very true.
Sure you do. You get some shaking.
Well, that's true also.
Yeah, I can't even see the chats because I have to turn my other internet opening thing or my other webpage turn it off because my internet sucks. So I can't ever see the chats. So I just hear them from KS. And when I turn it on, my computer gets all crazy because I need a new laptop. My keyboard doesn't work right now. You wouldn't believe how hillbilly my editing system is right now. Like I have one of those keyboards you buy from Best Buy, and I hook it into a USB.
Yeah,
Oh
my
my God.
thingamajig is shakety shaking right now, and
Yeah. You know when you put tags in on a YouTube video when you upload it, like that is the worst for me. It
So,
takes forever.
Okay, then I need to show you how to do all your tags for all of your videos all at once, and then set your tags for memory, and you never have to do them again anymore. All I have to do, it's the best. All I do is I upload a video, put on the title, and if I want to do any end thing and any cards, I do those. But all the tags and the description, everything is all pre-written. It's all done. I don't have to do any of that.
I don't.
Wow, yeah. That's pretty cool. I do different tags for most videos. I can do like a couple that are the same, but then I do them all related to the specific gun most of the time, you know. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to copy and paste a few of those for sure.
Okay, I'll show you how to do it.
Well, you never showed me. What's that about?
Yeah, I can't show you. Sorry, man. Only one person.
Bastard.
Yeah.
One person.
I wouldn't do it anyway. I'm not gonna lie. I just can't do it. I'm stuck in my old ways.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, hey, James Rogg has a question, and he threw in a super chat. Thank you for that, James. He said, "Have you heard of the Shadow Systems MR918 Elite?"
No, I haven't.
No. Shadow Systems MR9.
Yeah. So we need to look that up. The Shadow Systems MR918 Elite.
What is with the long ass names lately? Have you noticed that? Must be running out of stuff to call guns.
This is like a Glock. It's a Glock, right? What is this?
Oh yeah, it's the new. Is that the new Glock? Like the one that has the SIG drop in?
Well, no, this one is done by, and in fact, I am familiar with this. Frontier Justice has one of these. They had this, and they also had that Zev, whatever, abomination. I'll say something about that in a second. But the Shadow Systems is really a custom Glock, but their frame is very different. And it to me felt like not a Glock frame. It was a little bit closer to Polymer 80, but not quite Polymer 80 either. Very different grip texture to it. But Shadow System slide and barrel internals. It actually, I think it was on for like $7.99, and for that price, for that gun with the threaded barrel, good sights, it was a steal. That if you want a custom gun that you don't have to build yourself, that actually is a heck of a deal. And they put together pretty good stuff.
So on their website,
at it right now,
for the MR918 Combat, it's $879, and it looks like basically a Glock.
Yeah, that's
right.
It
looks like a Glock.
I'm going to pass on that one.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a custom Glock, that might be a good option, because I don't think, if you price out a lot of the Polymer 80 stuff, you're over $1,000 for a lot of those, because some of those slides can get really expensive. The barrels are expensive, that sort of thing. So that already put together, ready to go. You just buy it, fill out your paperwork, and you're done. That's not a bad deal. But I'll tell you what, they had the Zev, whatever it is, their new freak out crazy gun.
Yeah,
I thought it was awful. It was off. That was one of the worst triggers I've ever pulled on a Glock. And the safety lever is all the way, this tiny little teeny thing at the very bottom of the trigger. Because I wrapped my finger through, I couldn't even make the damn trigger work. So when I started using the pad of my trigger finger, the trigger pull was nasty. And I don't see what the $1,500, $1,600 value is in doing that.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's from Zeb, so you knew it was going to be that expensive. They were kind of Salient before Salient, remember? Like those two companies always kind of give me a little bit of a pause before I buy anything from them. But whatever. I don't know. Custom Glock. They're fun.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of Glock fatigue lately, though. I've noticed. I haven't been shooting my Glocks lately. I've been shooting my 1911 so much.
There's something about steel, dude. There's just something about steel. It's fun. They are so fun to shoot.
I think I'm going to invest in a gun that nobody's going to like but me. I think I might have CZ Custom make me a ProTech 2. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's like they take a PO1 and they just put everything but zinc into it. Yeah. And they like dehorn it, and they take like 4 ounces off, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff to it. Yeah, I think it's going to cost like $1,800, but
it's a mortgage.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to save up for my Atlas. I've been talking about getting an Atlas Hyperion forever, but I just can't do it. Every time I save up for something or save up a little bit here, it has to go somewhere. I have to buy something else. I'm kind of giving up on it.
I hear you, man. I got some money saved now. I don't know what to do with it. I was thinking of I wanted to do the stupid Archon, but then I'm like, God, you know what? I don't want to do that. You know, I want to do something that I like. You know, that's why I went with that Beretta. I like that Beretta, and I don't give a shit if anybody doesn't like that Beretta, but I certainly will like that Beretta. So now the question is, what's next? And I just don't know. So somebody asked, like, when is the Nemo going to be sent out? I was looking at one of those. I'd like to maybe get one of those at some point, but who knows when that's going to be made available.
You should get the Archon and the FDE.
I saw with the FDE slide. Yeah, I saw that. And I don't know. It's at like almost $1,000 for that.
No, it's
Yes, I didn't like the Archon. I mean, it was obvious by my review, but I just didn't like it. I know you guys or KS liked it, but I just didn't like that gun.
All right, I'm going to go with what you say.
What?
I'm going with what you say then. I don't like it either.
Oh my God, shut up. I'm telling you that you know what? That is a permanent resident. It's going nowhere. In fact, I've thought about getting a second one, getting an FDE one.
Oh yeah.
I like those things so much. I think they are a dream to shoot. I think they feel whatever. I'm not going to go on and on about it, but I really like them a lot.
Listen, for $400, get yourself a Steyr. Okay.
Yeah, I like the Steyr better. I'll take the Steyr over Narcon any day.
Oh, that says a lot right there.
What do you guys know? You're not even gun guys. I mean, come on.
Steyr for the win.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I hated the grip on this. I hated the grip on the Archon. I hated that dumb thing that they put in the middle of your web of your hand. Yeah. I don't know. There was a lot of things about it I didn't like. It was too heavy for what it was. Like, why would you want a Glock 19 size pistol that weighs, what was it, like 32 ounces or something like that? Like, I mean, put it on Jenny Craig. I mean, what's going on with all the slide milling? How could it be that heavy? I don't know.
It's got weight in all the right places.
Does it? I don't know. Not when I'm carrying it, it doesn't.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And then if I want a heavier gun, I mean, go with a Shadow or, like I said, that Hyperion's only 37 ounces, 5 ounces heavier. I bet you'd like that better. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many guns for the weight to firepower ratio that I feel like are better. But people like everything, or people like different things. So
yeah,
I can see why people would like the Archon. It had awesome sights from the factory.
Yeah, which
is pretty cool. Trigger was pretty good. Mac didn't like that the trigger heated up, but I never shot enough to get it to heat up, and I shoot a lot, so I didn't experience that.
Yeah, I haven't either, and I shoot a lot as well. I mean, I guess in the span of about 20-25 minutes, I usually put about 300 rounds through a firearm, so I can heat guns up pretty good. But I never had a problem with it at all. Yeah. Hey,
it shoots well.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it shoots well, but it just, for me, the price and the weight was just too much.
Yeah,
and the grip sucked.
I understand. That's funny. I like the grip. I think it actually feels. Yeah, it takes all kinds, right? I mean, some people really like the P10, and other people can't stand it. So it's the same sort of thing.
No, sure. I've been getting into silicone carbide lately, and people are they just can't believe it. They're like, "Why would you put that on your gun?" But I just love it. I don't know. Feels good.
Yeah. Definitely. I understand. We do have a question from David 029014. He said, "What's the best optics ready gun out of the box?"
Out of the P10, maybe.
Isn't
because the Glock MOS system kind of sucks. I mean, if you shoot enough on it, the red dots will go out of zero, and I forget which one was supposed to be the best. Was it the 509 or the Smith & Wesson or the P10? I can't remember, but they're all pretty good. Like. Just get whatever makes you feel good when you hold it in your hands. Every optic system is going to work all right, unless you're going to like Afghanistan or something.
Right.
And then you get milled.
Right.
Yeah.
But you think there's an advantage just to get it milled? I mean, you buy a P10 now, it's so cheap, and then you just mill it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I mean, if you like a certain red dot, you're going to get it lower if you get it milled, and it's going to be stronger, like 100%.
Yeah.
I would almost say if I had to choose one, if somebody said you have to make a choice, I'd probably say the FN 509, the tactical, because it's got the raised sights, it's got the threaded barrel if that's an option for you. It's kind of got all the bells and whistles, and that red dot system that they have with the O-ring and everything, it actually works really well, and you can put almost anything on it. So I think their system is actually pretty good. Now, I kind of like them all a little bit, but that FN 509 was pretty impressive.
Yeah, the only thing I don't trust about the 509 is I saw a bunch of videos and I had a bunch of people message me about once you put the red dot on and the light on and the suppressor on, there were some serious reliability problems with it, like hanging, like the weight hanging off the rail. And that happens sometimes. That happens with Glocks too. If you suppress a lot of Glocks, the weight will push down the barrel and it'll push the slide into the frame or whatever happens. You'll have some serious problems with certain models. Like if you suppress a Glock 34, I've had that because of the longer slide. And yeah, I don't know. It's just you're gonna make a gun that is designed around having a red dot, a light, and a suppressor. Maybe you just check it before you release it.
Mhm.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
yeah, but that doesn't happen on everybody's video. But if I see like 3 or 4 videos where something like that happens, and then I see a bunch of videos where it doesn't happen, I almost wonder if those people had it happen and didn't put it in the video, or you know what I'm trying to say, or maybe so. But I never tried it myself because I had the mid size and I didn't even shoot it with a light. I don't think so. Maybe I just suck.
Right. Well, you don't. I did not ever try it with the light on it, but I certainly threw a can and the red dot on it, and I never had issues. And in fact, I never even switched to the lighter spring, and it worked
Oh, nice.
for me. Yeah, and I was running. I mean, some 147, but then a lot of 115 grain. I mean, so we're not talking hardcore ammo or anything like that either. And I never had an issue with it. So I don't know.
You know what the most reliable gun I have for a suppressor is? It's a damn Beretta 92.
Yeah.
Yeah, that A3 will just eat everything. I don't have to change the springs. Don't have to switch ammo or anything. I was going to ask you about that. What's a good gun for a suppressor hose? Like that's stupid reliable besides the 93 or 92.
I'll be honest with you. My experience, the CZ SP01 Tactical, the Urban Gray, that thing will eat anything.
Hmm.
It's heavy enough, so you don't really notice the can. It's a little bit better balanced than something like a Glock. You know, you get that real forward, that heavy motion with the Glock, but not so much with the SP01. I had great luck with it, and of course, you can always jack around with an SP01. You can do all the Cajun Gun Works and 85 combat trigger and all that stuff. So I had a great experience with that.
Yeah, embarrassingly, I can't say anything because I have never had one.
You can get them in New York though, can't you?
No,
Can you get a tax stamp in New York for real?
nope.
Oh man, that's rough.
No, nothing. No muzzle devices, nothing.
Yeah, we can't get full auto in Iowa. We can't even get a tax stamp if we want to, but that's the only thing.
Geez, I'm glad I can get semi-auto in New York. You kidding me? I'm surprised we haven't gone to revolvers only.
Yeah, revolvers and lever actions.
Well, I take the lever action. I like lever actions, but
I do too.
it's just
I would
pathetic.
not feel unarmed with a lever action. I can shoot them.
I love
I've
them.
had them when I was a
Freaking
kid.
love them. Super reliable, easy to shoot. I mean, great calibers. You know, I mean, can't pass them up.
Yeah, my first gun was a Henry 22 lever action, Golden Boy. Like when they were released or something. It was the first gun my dad ever bought me.
Now they're coming out with all the tactical lever actions, you know, with all the, you know, the rails on them and shit. They look good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would do one, but I probably would never show anybody because I feel too stupid, you know.
But if you lived in a state where you could only get a lever action, you probably would want a rail. I mean, why not put a light on it, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're making them so that they're more applicable to different situations, which is always a good thing, you know. So yeah, I can never pass up on a good lever action.
Yeah, I mean, they work. You know, people get wrapped up around that, like the best home defense gun. Like if you were trying to steal somebody's TV and they came out with a Henry lever action, they would start popping rounds at you, wouldn't run your ass off.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just a lever action, no big deal. It's a good thing it's not an AR.
Right. Oh, it's only a 22. You know, I'm just gonna stand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, shoot me. It's not gonna hurt. Yeah, you want to bet on that
All
one?
right.
Ask
Yeah,
Abraham.
a Colt single action starts popping rounds at you.
Yeah. It's a stupid argument, but whatever.
So we do have another question here, and then before too long, we probably ought to wrap it up. We've gone a little longer than we normally do, but having a special guest, it's always fun.
Very special. It's royalty, so you know.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. The
Well,
tactical
I appreciate
gear.
you having me on.
Dude, listen, your family, man. You're always welcome on. Just
Thank
tell
you.
me whenever you want to be on. But Keith Gregory did ask a question. It's a great question. Can you ask honest? What is his favorite 380 ACP pistol?
Oh, I would say the Glock 42, but probably the SIG P238. I like that pistol a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't like SIGs that much, but that's a really good 380.
Nice.
Interesting.
Nice.
But then again, I don't have a lot of experience in 380 either. I think I've owned like 5 maybe in my life.
Yeah. I like the 42, although that EZ shield was actually pretty good. I don't like the grip safety very much, but it was a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, I like the gun for its intended purpose, but I would never carry that gun. I mean, just a grip safety on a gun made this year. I mean, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Which is probably why they didn't sell too many.
Yeah.
And
they must have sold some. They have those crazy customizable or customized options coming out with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gold barrels and fucking ported.
Yeah, they have a ported 380.
Oh my God. That's embarrassing.
So I will say one of the local stores, I was talking to them about the Performance Center Shield EZs and just in general. And I asked them how many they sell, and they say between 10 or 15 a month. That's actually pretty darn good. If you think about it, that's one store because it hits a certain market segment that a lot of other firearms don't hit. So for what it's worth, I mean, I got to give props to Smith for that.
Yeah.
No, totally.
I also wonder though if they get some kickbacks from Smith if they sell that that particular brand and they get a free gun after so many.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do. Yeah.
I mean, for a full-size gun though with low recoil, it's hard to beat that gun. I mean, it shoots really quick.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree. Well, guys, let's do this. Let's kind of wrap things up here a little bit. Tell everybody what's coming up in the near future and all that kind of good stuff.
Honest, go ahead, man.
I've got a bunch of stuff. I have so many guns right now to review that I'm actually turning people down to send them to me right now because I don't have time. And that's a good position to be in. I'm super happy about that. But I have the Ruger Security 9. I have 1911, the SIG M17, the Beretta M9A3, some sort of PCC that I can't remember, a couple rifles. I have my Daniel Defense MK18 build that I'm working on, and my crazy Stormtrooper 300 Blackout I'm doing.
Nice.
Well, I don't have the problem that you have. And my problem is the complete opposite. I don't have anybody sending me anything, and it's getting a little thin. But I'm going to do the review or the comparison between the 48 and the Shield. Again, I think they just work well together in the comparison. Also, the 43X I'll do, the M9A3 when I get it, whichever month that's going to be in. And then just some side stuff here and there, and then hopefully if I ever get my hands on that Steyr, that'll be coming out. If Caracal ever comes out, I'd like to get my hands on that gun as well. And then we just go from there. That's pretty much what I got.
Nice. Same sort of thing. Lots of different stuff coming out. I'm finally doing the Staccato P. It comes out this weekend. The video is done, so I'm very excited for that. And then I can compare it to the Wilson and get the Wilson back to Harry's holsters because it always makes me nervous having other people's stuff around, especially when it's a lot more than I can afford. So it'll be good to send that off. Although I will miss it because that's a fantastic firearm. But again, lots of other fun stuff. But everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us on another great Wednesday night. We appreciate each and every one of you. Honest, it is always a pleasure. And like I said, dude, just tell us anytime you want to join. You are always welcome here. So.
And we could always turn it into 4 guys gun chat. So
absolutely.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, I enjoy this, I have to say. I just don't always have time, and it's hard for me to tell you when I'm going to be available at 7 or at a certain time because I never know what's going to be going on at work. Because I told KS like 3 times in a row I was going to be on, and then had to cancel out due to work. So
it's ironic you say that because I've been saying the same thing for like the past 2 months because work's been crazy for me, and I can't find time. I just can't right now. But it's going to slow down in the next 4 weeks. So hopefully. We'll be back on track then. But yeah, anytime, man.
I actually just thought the 2 of you were trying to break up with me. So yeah.
No, we can't. You're like a wart, man. We cut you off and you keep growing back.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
It's all love, buddy. All love.
Well, again, everybody, thank you so much. Happy Wednesday. Stay safe, shoot straight, and we will definitely see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
See ya.
Good night.